Manic Monday, everybody. We are back. Go, Pack, go with your host and the guy of this podcast, Sammy the Man McIntyre with Moving the Change podcast. We are rocking. We are rolling. I'm recording this right before we got Panthers, 49ers. Huge implications on the NFC playoff picture. I'll dive into that tomorrow. I want to touch on a couple games today, a couple games tomorrow, and I'm going to go off on the Raiders. I'm just going to plan this week ahead for you guys. Be prepared, because it's ugly in Raider Nation right now. It is, oh my God, it's terrible. Downright sickening and pathetic. But I want to start with last night's game. So, last night's game, Rams, I want to start off with that at the top. Rams were favored by 7. That was one thing against spread picks. They covered it completely. 34-7 beatdown of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One team's ascending, one team's descending. One team was ascending, down. I don't see it getting much better. We shall see. But I will say this for the Buccaneers. I'm glad I got the news today. Jeremy Fowler broke it on my way home from the gym tonight. He does not have, it's in the non-throwing shoulder, the AC joint of the shoulder. That's hurt right now for Baker Mayfield. That's a plus for the Buccaneers. Now, into the game per se. That was ugly. That was very bad last night from the Buccaneers' perspective. You got Godwin back and Bucca. But not having Mike Evans, it's kind of got like this C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins vibe of last year to me. Because he's so valuable. Now, he's not what he was, obviously not. But Mike Evans, Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. And I'm watching last night with Baker. He looked off. This Rams team is for real. Noah Leasing should know this. This team's for real. I said it last year. They were young last year. They're only getting better. Their D-line, everything about it was fantastic. Landman, I never knew anything about him. I thought I was watching the show with Billy Bob Thornton, not the linebacker. He looks fantastic. I'll get to them in a second. But the Buccaneers standpoint, disappointing. I mean, Todd Bowles is some off-defensive guy, and his defense getting shredded. Now, I get they're losing guys left and right. I get all that. And same with the Ravens. But I'm watching one team, the Ravens, get all these guys back, kick ass, take names. And the Buccaneers get some guys back, and it's not quite the same. But I said this for the summer. During the summer, going into the predictions of this year, I still had Tampa Bay win the division, but it's going to be a little rocky. You know, this team is older. It's very old. It's kind of Moneyball-ish to me. A lot of guys, a lot of, it's like product placement. I don't know how to say it, but it's big names past their prime. It's nostalgic, a little bit. And Chris Godwin came back last night. He made some plays, but Baker was just under siege and under duress all night long. He couldn't get anything going. Thought the play calling was a little shitty to me. Baker's trying. He's fighting for extra yards. He's got that gamer in him. That's why I love Baker, Moneymaker Mayfield. But last night, to me, was more about the Rams. But the Buccaneers got some issues. Their defense can't stop anybody right now. If the good news is they play Arizona on Sunday. It's a get-right game. Should be at home against Arizona, not without Kyler. So it's a get-right game for Tampa. They needed that win last night. Because I'm recording this right before the Panthers go on the field against the Niners. And let's just, I think I'm looking at my predictions here. I did pick 49ers, but I said it would be close. 33-24 would be the score. Let's say they lose that game. Let's say hypothetically they win it. They beat the Niners. Now you're in trouble. Now, if they lose, then you got a little bit of breathing room. But Carolina's right behind you. Which you would have thought that for the beginning of the year. So, I did pick them third in the division, but I didn't pick them this. They've impressed me. So we'll just see what happens moving forward with Tampa Bay. Good news is Baker, he's still in the sling, but it's on the non-throwing shoulder, not the throwing shoulder. Because if it was on throwing shoulder, we'd have a different animal, different ball game. And it did not look pretty last night in L.A. And speaking of those Rams, Matthew freaking Stafford went this guy Rambo last night. He looked like Brett Favre last night. Slinging that pill everywhere he wanted. It just felt, if he doesn't get MVP, it's shameful. Because This guy deserves MVP. And listen, I've been a big fan of Stafford. A lot of guys in the league have defended him. I have too. You don't understand this guy's talent, the fight, just everything. And I remember years ago, there was debate in Chicago and, among my family, how good Stafford. Because it was Cutler or Stafford, which one? And a lot of people said neither. Now, agree to disagree. I would have taken Stafford because I trust Stafford, the arm strength. They both had huge arms, Cutler and him. Cutler's was more power arm, but to me with Stafford, it was the Favre experience. It was gunslinging, slinging the ball, shuffle, throw picture like, what the, holy, it was a roller coaster ride. And we saw what happened in Detroit. They went to a couple playoff games, got smashed. Not all his fault, but he gets the blame for those. And then he goes to L.A. I didn't know how it was going to work. I didn't. But the 2 times the Rams in my lifetime, and I didn't watch 99, but they've been really good, was when they had an elite quarterback. Right? I mean, they've gone Super Bowls. Now, I would say Goff is Kurt Warner elite, but he's in that pretty good category, right? Stafford is better than Warner or Goff, but I've seen what happens when they get the guy, right? The Rams, first year, Super Bowl, bang, right there. Excuse me. So, I do think, I think the Rams, to me right now, if I'm looking at it, I think it's them, Green Bay. I mean, those would be the 2 right now. I mean, Detroit maybe, but they got issues on the back end. I'll talk about that game tomorrow. I look around, man, and this NFC's kind of I'm kind of figuring out who's who. I still got Chicago's coming. I got to see. With all the Calebness out there, zesty, call me when they beat the Grim Packers, okay? Team's been kicking your ass 30 years. I'm impressed by the Bears. I'll take anything you want. But you got to show me some more, dude. Come on now. I need to see more from the Bears. I like it. It's impressive. But I got to see more. I'm a critic right now. And I have to be. So, and with Stafford, man, he's just sensational. And he ages like fine wine. I mean, he's slinging that pill. He's in the great environment. He loves L.A. Clayton Kershaw's his buddy, which is a pretty cool story. Devontae looks like a new life. I might have my issues with Devontae. I don't really care much for him anymore. What he did to the Raiders, I was thinking about it at work today. It's just kind of funny. He bitched and moaned about the Raiders and then goes there. He's like, oh my God, we're losing. Well, we've been losing for 20 years. What'd you expect? So, to me with the Rams, they're clicking. The run game, McVay's awesome. I mean, he's like me in a sense. Got energy, juice, got a little bit of Gruden, old school. But he kind of wants to be like Kevin O'Connell. Let's sling that pill around. When you got a quarterback with this talent, you want to. And McVay feels like he can adapt to anything. And that's my one knock on Kevin O'Connell. I'll get to them in a second. But when I'm watching the Rams, it's just crisp. And the Rams are supposed to be physical. They're supposed to be tough. And all this stuff football team's supposed to be. But they're smart. And they're efficient. And they're just really, it's bang, bang, bang. There's urgency meter. It's one of the knocks I have with people sometimes at the gym. Not going to call any names. But there's no urgency to me. It's kind of like, oh, I'm just sitting there. No, urgency. Chop, chop, motherfucker. We got to go. So, I love the Rams' urgency last night. That Tampa defense is not easy to play against. It is not. But the caveat I have to that, if you want to beat a Todd Bowles-led defense, you have to block everything up front and then make sure you get your shots. So, and they blocked it up pretty good with the Rams. This is not a great offensive line. Run game's okay, not great. But this Ram team, their defense is fantastic. Chris Shula's done a fantastic job. I don't know how it was going to work last year when they got him. Because they had Raheem, then he went to Atlanta. It's working. And Jared Verse looks like Khalil Mack 2.0 to me. Kobe Turner looks fantastic. I mean, the cool thing with him playing the piano it was awesome. And they know what they're doing. And here's the other thing. They got those 2 first-round picks from Atlanta. So they're going to stockpile now. Leslie always had this mantra, F them picks. Well, we're going to use those picks because they're going to keep stockpiling and adding up talent. And the Rams aren't going anywhere. As long as you got number 9 and McVay, they're going to be in the mix. And I do think there's this path to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they're going to win it, but there's a path because I trust them more than Philly right now. Philly's a mess. Don't get me started on them. I'll get to them tomorrow. And Detroit, I love Detroit, but they had a problem with the Giants yesterday. So that was my kind of take on that game last night. But in terms of Tampa, oof, not great. And in terms of the Rams side of things, elite, as I saw last night. So one of the biggest games of that 1 o'clock window was the Colts in Arrowhead against the Chiefs. And I thought for most of this game, Colts wrapped it in a bow and put it on the Christmas tree. And then they fell apart. And Shane Steichen coached not to lose. I'm sure Colts fans probably agree with me. DM me if you want. Say I'm right or wrong. I don't care. But it felt like that yesterday. And, some of the calls, whatever. Ticky-tack, whatever. It is kind of annoying with Mahomes, always bitching the refs, whatever. But I will say this. The Colts are still okay. They're not, sky's not falling in Indianapolis, okay? You're going to win this division. I don't trust Jacksonville as far as I can throw them. They're awful. They're just inconsistent as shit. It starts with the quarterback. And Tennessee's in shambles. And Houston, maybe. So I look at the Colts, and they're still fine. Daniel Jones, it feels like he's going back to that New York Giants Daniel Jones. Not great. But I will say, as long as you got Jonathan Taylor, the backs, Shane Steichen, but what really concerned me was they don't push the ball down the field. I watched it yesterday, and they talked about that last night with Coward and Middlecoff. And I kind of went, that's fascinating. Let me check. And I went back and watched this morning. And they did. Or I remember parts of it. And they did. They kind of went back to the well a little bit. And that kind of alarmed me going, this was not about Daniel Jones' ceiling. We know what it is. He's okay. He's fine. He's serviceable, but not it. And the Colts just need a guy to get him by right now. Now, could you draft another guy? You kind of worry about Anthony Richardson. I don't know. I know Colin King, who DM'd me one time, is like, yeah, we're winning. I'm worried the Colts are going to barge in because they haven't had much playoff success. They, kind of like the Giants did after that playoff win. I could see that playing well, playing the same scenario. But for right now, the Colts are going to be okay. They're going to be okay. They have 3 losses on the year, okay? They're 8-3. They're probably going to get home field, probably. Now, they probably have to go on the road. But we'll see. I mean, we got to see how the playoffs end up in the AFC. But I'm not freaking out too much about the Colts. They did blow that game. They did. 20-9. You should have knocked their ass out and used boa constrictor to choke them. But they didn't. And on the Chiefs side of things, Patrick Mahomes, man. I will say this as long as I do this podcast. I just can't count him out. I'm watching my dad, and I go, Jack's like, oh, it's over. I said, no, it's not. No, it's not. There's been too many times I've seen it twice live. I say it all the time. And I saw it 2020, the COVID year. We were up 31-28 on Kansas City, and I remember going, too much time. And they threw the game winner to Kelsey. So I can't do that. And the Chiefs, to me, this is not a great Chiefs team. I'm just being honest. It's really not. However, I will say this. They have a George Foreman kind of punch still. They're not what they were, but they got that punch. They fight, they scratch, they claw. Patrick Mahomes is like, I got this, let's go. And he shows you why he's the best on the planet. Him and Josh Allen. Maybe when Burrow's on, Herbert, Lamar, throw your name in the ring. But I'm watching yesterday. He's Favre, man. He's Favre a little bit with Rodgers, with Brady, just, late game clutchness. I can't explain it. But I love Mahomes. And I hate saying it because I'm a Raider fan. And it pains me, but It's just remarkable. And what they built there is fantastic. The Hunt family, Brett Veach, GM, Andy Reid, we don't need to talk anymore. He's a Hall of Famer. He was great in Philly. Couldn't get the quarterback right. He's doing it now with this guy. So just incredible. And the Chiefs, by the way, schedule kind of play Thanksgiving. It could be a good game. Dallas and Kansas City. I'm excited for that one because that could be a fireworks show. We shall see. Okay, and the last game I wanted to touch on, before I get you guys out of here, it's great having you guys on tonight, is go, Pack, go. Absolutely. They did the skull chant and mocked the Vikings yesterday, because that's what they did. And Kevin O'Connell, I'm going to start with the Minnesota side of things, okay? He got bent the hell over yesterday. Stone Cold stunned. People's elbow. You name every wrestling WWE move in the book. He got that yesterday in Lambeau. And what's puzzling for me with Kevin O'Connell is why is he not adjusting? Like, J.J. McCarthy's bad. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to bury the kid. Because it is bad. So I have two thoughts on this. My first thought is, okay, he's not great. But this is a team that won 13 games last year. Okay. It kind of feels like there was some pressure going in this year. And I said before the year, Minnesota would be a third-place team. Because I love the team. Brian Flores, Kevin O'Connell's a good coach. A little overrated, but good coach. But I didn't know about the quarterback. Everything else was in Minnesota was in place. They just need the quarterback. Above average offensive line. But it just doesn't look right. And I'm watching it, and yesterday's airmailing balls, it just doesn't look right. And Justin Jefferson, to me, looks frustrated. Now, he's not a malcontent like a A.J. Brown shithead or Terrell Owens or Chad. I mean, he's not any of those. But I get his frustration. Like, he's looking around and going, holy shit, man, I had Sam Darnold. Every time I look up, he's going to JSN. Bomb, bomb, bomb. I mean, he's got to feel bad. And he could be a company guy all day. But something's got to change in Minnesota. And I think the problem that I have with O'Connell is why is he going to all these, like, deep routes? The guy can't complete them. Go short. I mean, so this falls on the coach. He's got to do a better job. He just is. He's always going to be a Lincoln Riley kind of guy. That's what it feels like to me. Sling the ball around, be soft, not a tough team. That's what I feel like with Minnesota. Their defense is tough as hell. But your defense can only do so much when your offense can't do anything. And it's sad because Minnesota's a really good football team, really well run. They're kind of like the Chiefs pre-Mahomes. Pretty good. But ceiling. And on the Green Bay side of things, just remarkable. I mean, them getting Micah Parsons, the 3 times they've done this. Reggie White, Charles Woodson, and Micah Parsons. Super Bowls. Now, could they get to the Super Bowl? Probably. I mean, if they get home field, I don't think they will, but if they do, Green Bay, they can win the division. Home field, they run the ball, the way they're running it lately. I know it was Minnesota and a little iffy, but I'm watching yesterday. I wouldn't want to play them in Green Bay. Now, if they don't have a repeat of 4 years ago, when they had a home playoff game, they were throwing the ball around when they should have just ran it, then there's a shot. But Jordan Love's fine. He's a good quarterback. He was, I think they were trying to protect him. And I think that defense with Green Bay, I mean, Micah Parsons is a freak. We know that. I saw it in college at times. But I'm watching tonight, or yesterday, that Green Bay defense is the best one I've seen since Aaron Rodgers won that Super Bowl. I'm being dead ass. And, excuse me, got the allergies. But I'm impressed with Green Bay. They're just well run. And this is why when I get frustrated with the Raiders, this is why. Because Green Bay went through what the Raiders were going through. 23 years of shit. And then they get the right guy, right coach, right everything, and it flows. So, and that's, I think, why Green Bay's been so successful. Now, I can argue, should have won more, got it. But I'd rather be them than all these other teams in the league. So, just an incredible performance. They weren't scared to death of JJ yesterday. They were not. They were like, okay, we'll take all your underneath shit. You're not hitting us over the top. And you can't with Green Bay. I mean, outside a few times with Dallas and a couple other teams, you can't really throw on them. So, incredible job by Jeff Hafley and this defense. Just remarkable. So, I'm going to get off here tonight. Manacle Monday. We're having a great day. Going to watch this Monday night game, give you guys my reaction. Touch on a few other games I didn't touch on today. Got football all weekend. Thanksgiving's coming. Thankful for this podcast. Thankful for all my subscribers, listeners. You guys are great. That's why I want to do this. So, Manic Monday. Hope you guys are doing well. Adios. Stay tuned. Godspeed.